September 1939. The world held its breath as Nazi Germany's invasion of Poland ignited a global conflagration. Britain and France stood in solidarity, yet the phony war brought a false sense of security. It was a calm before a storm of unimaginable ferocity. By May 1940, that storm broke. The German Blitzkrieg, a terrifying symphony of speed and steel, sliced through the Ardennes forest, a route the Allies had dismissed as impassable. This audacious move outflanked the formidable Maginot Line and sent the Allied armies reeling. The British Expeditionary Force, alongside French and Belgian soldiers, was pushed back, their lines collapsing under the relentless assault. They were trapped, their backs to the sea, cornered against the French coast. The pocket tightened around the port of Dunkirk. Lord Gort, commander of the BEF, faced an impossible choice: surrender an entire army or orchestrate a retreat of unprecedented scale. On the vast, grey beaches, over 300,000 men waited. Exhausted, their faces covered in a mixture of oil and sand, they were a sitting target. Above, the Luftwaffe's Stuka dive bombers, with their terrifying sirens, prowled the skies. On the horizon, Hitler's advancing panzer divisions were poised for the final decisive blow. The situation was beyond grim. It was catastrophic. The end seemed not just near, but inevitable. Then from the chalk-white tunnels of Dover Castle, a plan was born. Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay launched Operation Dynamo, a desperate mission to save what could be saved. The Royal Navy's destroyers raced to the rescue, but the shallow waters of the Dunkirk beaches proved a formidable obstacle. The great warships couldn't get close enough to the shore, where the long lines of soldiers stood waiting. A new call went out, a plea to the civilians of Britain, and they answered. From every port and inlet along the southern coast, a strange and wonderful flotilla set sail. Wooden fishing boats, elegant private yachts, sturdy tugs, and even paddle steamers, the little ships, braved the choppy, treacherous waters of the English Channel. Manned by fishermen, bank clerks, and weekend sailors, these civilian vessels sailed into a war zone. They dodged mines, weaving through the chaos under a sky thick with enemy aircraft facing the same fire as the warships. Their mission was simple: ferry their sons, brothers, and fathers from the beaches to the larger destroyers waiting offshore. It was an act of collective civilian courage that would define a nation. Against all odds, the miracle of Dunkirk succeeded. Over 8 days, 338,000 Allied soldiers were rescued from the jaws of defeat. Captain William Tennant, the senior naval officer on the beach, was one of the last to leave, watching the harbor burn behind him. While a strategic defeat, the evacuation was a profound psychological victory. It forged the Dunkirk spirit, a symbol of resilience and unity in the face of overwhelming adversity. As Winston Churchill famously declared to Parliament, they would never surrender. The heart of the British Army lived to fight another day, and the war was far from over. Thanks for watching.